Assalamu alaikum gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa. Maria Babikun ya Ramadan. Maria Babikun ya Ramadan. Àlejò ńlá tó bá fẹ́ wọlé bí kó má wọlé. Ó tún wọlé tán bí kó má jáde ni. Maria Babikun ya Ramadan. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa nílé lóko lódò lẹ́yìn odi ní gbogbo ibikíbi tí ẹ bá wà tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ wa. Ṣọlá Yusuf ni orúkọ mi, Ájà Muibat. Gbogbo èèyàn ló mọ̀ mí mọ orúkọ òun. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Aláhù tí ó ṣọ́ wa di àsìkò yìí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òjò ló rọ̀ tí ilẹ̀ ti fi mu láàrin àsìkò yìí láti ìgbà tí a ti gba àwẹ̀ tí ó kẹ́yìn. A dúpẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run ọba olùdáàbòbò tí ń jẹ́ àfíìsù ó pa wá mọ́, ó ṣọ́ wa títí di àsìkò yìí. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń wọlé tàbí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ń wọlé fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́, ètò yín Yorùbá Gbòde òní ó tún gba ojú ọpọ́n. Ṣọlá Yusuf ni orúkọ mi, olóòtú ètò Yorùbá Gbòde. Lára rẹ̀ ni a ti yọ oṣù Abiyi, èyí tí a fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórí ètò tòní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa. Ìjọ alápọ̀nlé ni NCNMO, ìjọ àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà tí wọ́n jẹ́ alálùbáríkà tí wọn ò fẹ̀sìn ṣeré. Àwọn ni wọ́n máa ń ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ wa láti bí ọdún 10 sẹ́yìn ni wọ́n ti ń ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ wa. A dúpẹ́ pé a fi ẹlòmíì ṣe gbogbo wọn. Kó tó di pé mo bẹ̀rẹ̀, mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ìjọ náà, àwọn Ashura board, gbogbo àwọn executive àti gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n jẹ́ kí ètò yìí kí ó máa ṣeé ṣe ní ọdọọdún gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa. A dúpẹ́. Lónìí, àlejò wa wọn sì ṣàlejò torí wọ́n ti di onílé. Àwọn náà ni ìmáàmù wa. Wọn ó kọ́kọ́ pè wọ́n, wọn ó kí wọn ná sórí ètò kí n tó wá máa fi àwọn amòye Yorùbá Gbòde hàn. Ó sì lè ṣe pé létàlétà láàmú ṣe torí amòye kan náà mo tí rí. Kò tí ì mọ́ra. Aago 3 ni Yorùbá Gbòde máa bẹ̀rẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n nítorí ààwẹ̀ a máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní aago 2 ọ̀sán kí a lè mójútó oṣù Abiyi. Ètò oṣù Abiyi ni ètò tí ń kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n, níbi tí a ti ń kọ́ nípa ẹ̀sìn Islam. Tí wọ́n bá ti dé bá wọn fún wa ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àti ìmọ̀ràn lórí oṣù alápọ̀nlé yìí. Àǹfààní ń bẹ fún àwọn èèyàn wa láti béèrè ìbéèrè lórí oṣù Ramadan, lórí ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n ń bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, àti lápapọ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ, gbogbo tó bá kan Mùsùlùmí. Gbogbo ìbéèrè ni ẹ lè béèrè tó bá ti kan ẹ̀sìn Islam, ẹ̀sìn alápọ̀nlé ni ẹ̀sìn Mùsùlùmí. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba tí ó tún ṣọ́ wa di ọjọ́ òní. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òjò ló rọ̀ tí ilẹ̀ ti fi mu, ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ṣọ́ wa di àsìkò yìí. Àlejò wa pàtàkì lórí ètò yìí, ìmáàmù àgbà, ẹ dákun pé ẹ ṣí kinní yín kí ẹ ṣí fídíò ẹ ṣeun mo ti rí yín lórí fídíò fún àǹfààní àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n fẹ́ràn láti máa wọlé lórí YouTube. A ti wà lórí YouTube báyìí ní àsìkò yìí. Orí YouTube nìkan kọ́, Yorùbá Gbòde wà lórí rédíò Yorùbá Gbòde ní àwọn agbègbè ibi tí wọ́n ti ń gbọ́ wa ní agbègbè Delaware, Philadelphia, a wà lórí rédíò níbẹ̀, a wà lórí YouTube. Bákan náà, a wà lórí Reef Note website. Àwọn alájùmọ̀ṣe ìtẹ̀síwájú fún Yorùbá Gbòde, a wà pẹ̀lú àwọn náà. Àwọn èèyàn ń wò wá níbẹ̀ ní káàkiri orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ, àlejò wa pàtàkì wọn ì sì ṣe àlejò náà torí pé tá a bá kà ní méní méjì mẹ́ta mẹ́rin, àìmọye ìgbà ni wọ́n ti wá sí orí ètò Yorùbá Gbòde. Onílé ni wọ́n, àjọ ní ètò yìí ni. Ìmáàmù àgbà Abdulfatai Délé Jamiu tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ wọn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Olótù, ẹ ṣeun.
A dúpẹ́ pé ẹ̀mí wa tún rí ẹ̀mí ní ọdún yìí. Gbogbo àwọn jàmáà wa ń kọ́ lọ́kan òjọ̀kan ní Philadelphia.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Àlàáfíà la wà, kò sí láburú.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Àwọn amòye Yorùbá Gbòde, àwọn tí wọ́n ti dé, wọn ó fi wọ́n hàn yín gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa. Ẹni àkọ́kọ́ tí mo rí tí wọ́n fi hàn yín báyìí, dókítà ni wọ́n. Dókítà ọlọ́pọlọ là máa pè wọ́n. Wọn ò yẹ wọn ò gbò. Níwòyí èsìn ẹ rí wọn. A dúpẹ́ pé ẹ tún rí wọn lọ́dún yìí náà. Kódà lọ́dún yìí wọ́n ti tún wá yọ̀ǹgì sí ni. A dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run fún ààbò àti ìtọ́jú rẹ̀. Àwọn náà ni dókítà Olúbíyì Oyèfúlẹ̀, amòye lórí Yorùbá Gbòde. Ẹ sálámọ̀ sí àwọn lèmọ́mù. Ẹ túra yín lẹ̀ o.
Ìyá ẹ ṣé olóòtú o. Ẹ káàbọ̀ lèmọ́mù. Mo rántí last year ta meet a dẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ní ọ̀dọ̀ yín gbà yẹn. Lágbára Ọlọ́run àtúnkọ́ new one lọ́tẹ̀ yìí. Ẹ ṣé gan, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí.
Ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ kújọ́ mẹ́ta o.
Yes sir.
So inú mi láti tún bí ẹ̀yin náà o.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Thank you.
Yorùbá ní bá a bá ti ríra ẹni tó pẹ́, ẹkú àti làákí ni. Bákan náà mo ní amòye wa kejì. Àwọn náà ni bàbá l'Ógbómọ̀ṣọ́, ẹnjiníà àgbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ amòye lórí Yorùbá Gbòde. Ẹ rí wọn léṣin, ẹ tún rí wọn lọ́dún yìí. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Àwọn náà wọ́n ò fi owó alihamdulilayi wọ́n ò fi ránṣẹ́ sí àpò mi. Ẹ kí ìmáàmù àgbà Abdulfatai Jamiu, ẹ kí wọn.
Ìmáàmù àgbà mo kí yín o. Wọ́n ní tá bá ti ríra ẹni lọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta, ẹkú àtijọ́ la máa ń kíra ẹni, ẹkú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta o. A rẹ̀ kú òǹgbẹ, ẹ̀mí ó gba ààwẹ̀ náà já o. Ẹ ṣé, a mọ̀ pé ẹ̀kọ́ ńlá lẹ kọ́ wa ní ìsìtò àpàdé. Ọdún iná ẹ̀kọ́ náà tún ni. Ẹ ṣeun gan, ẹ kú òǹgbẹ o.
Ẹ ṣé pọ̀, mo dúpẹ́ o. So ẹ kújọ́ mẹ́ta o.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Ṣé àlàáfíà lẹ́yìn náà wà àti
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
Nǹkan rere náà máa rí bára wa ṣe o pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣeun gan.
Jó ọlọ́gbọ̀n ọjọ́ tàbí ńgbà míì ó lè dín ẹyọ kan. Ńgbà mo wà ń kékeré, àwọn èèfẹ́ kó dín. Bó bá ti ńgbà míì yóò sì dín tí ó jẹ́ 29. Ohun táì fi fẹ́ kó dín ni pé ààwẹ̀ a máa dùn. Inú wa máa dùn nínú ààwẹ̀ torí pé àwa tá a kéré ńgbà náà tá a bá lè gba àgbàdá ilà. Wọ́n ní àgbàdá ilà, wọ́n ní wọ́n fi ń kọ́ ọmọ ní òkè tí pé èèyàn ní ládá o. Ṣùgbọ́n ládá táwa máa ń gbà ni pé a gbowó pàtí ẹ̀ gba àgbàdá ilà. Àwọn òbí wa wọ́n ò fún wa lówó tá a fi sínú báńkì. So tó bá ti wá di 29 yẹn owó 29 days là á gbà nígbà 30 days ṣùgbọ́n á jẹun ní ìdájí á tún jẹun tó bá di ọ̀sán ní àìlà tó bá tún wá di alẹ́ á tún bá wọn ṣínu tí gbogbo owó mọ̀ ṣe yọ̀tọ̀ mi a dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run pàtàkì ní ààwẹ̀ nínú òpó Islam ṣùgbọ́n kò yé èmi tó bí ó ṣe yé imam àkórí ọ̀rọ̀ wa lónìí tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí ni àlá gbogbo nǹkan tó rọ̀ mọ́ àlá gẹ́gẹ́ bí àpẹẹrẹ ti àlá ànábì Yusuf aleyhisalat wọ́n á fún wa ní àpẹẹrẹ àwọn èèyàn ó wàá béèrè ìbéèrè lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n bá dánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tán lẹ́yìn ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àwọn èèyàn ó láǹfààní láti béèrè ìbéèrè lórí ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ wọn tòní lórí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn nǹkan tó ń kọ wá lóminú nípa ẹ̀sìn Islam káàkiri àgbáyé àti lórí ẹ̀sìn Islam gan fúnra rẹ̀ Imam mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí Yorùbá Gbòde.
Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun.
So tó bá tún yá kì í pẹ́ kó lè bá a dàbí ìrántí ẹ bá mi sọ díẹ̀ ní ìṣẹ́jú 2 sí 3 ibi tẹ́ ẹ ti ń bọ̀ àti ibi tí ẹ wà báyìí. Alhamdulillah, bismillah, Imam.
Yeah, I'm in Nigeria, of course, and I was born. I was born in Isen, Oyo State, Nigeria. I studied at Arabic school. I mean, Isen primary school and Saudi. So in those years, 1955 to 1960, and went to Islamic school at Ibadan for my Islamic education. No, ti Òkè Àrẹ ni. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn bàbá lókè Àrẹ, bàbá ìmáàmù ìdun tàbí ìdun ìlọrin. Àwọn náà jẹ́ so àáfàá mi tí wọ́n kọ́ mi ní kéwú. So ìgbà tí mo kúrò lọ́dọ̀ wọn, I went to teach at Okaka Newaudin School as Arabic teacher from that from 1970 to 1976. So 1976, I went to University of Ibadan for my diploma in Arabic and Islamic studies. I finished there and I was posted to Lagboro Grammar School, Oyo State. I was there for about 9 months. Then I gained admission to Islamic University in Medina, Saudi Arabia. So I was there for my BA in Sharia, Islamic law. So from that, from 1978 to 1982, coming January 1983, I was posted by Muslim World League to come to USA as a teacher of Arabic and Islamic studies in Philadelphia. Yeah. So, and I was here since then. I have my master's degree from Temple University. So here in Philadelphia, I was the imam. I worked with Bureau of Prison for about 20 years, and State Prison for about 23 years. And now I'm retired. I join myself, taking it easy to serve the Muslim community.
Alhamdulillah. Adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ọba ìrìn àjò yín ó wú wa lórí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi bá ti máa ń gbọ́ ní gbogbo ìgbà inú mi máa ń dùn ní ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ẹ kú ọrọ̀ àdínì ẹ kú ìyànjú ó tiẹ̀ tó dípẹ́ fún wa ní lecture èmi máa ti gbọ́ wípé àwọn lèmọ́mù àbí àwọn pásítọ̀ wọ́n máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní prison kí ni wọ́n máa ń ṣe ń bẹ̀ náà.
Well, the same thing we do in the community. So we manage the religious program for all the inmates. It does not matter whether you are Muslim, Christian, Jewish. Once you are a chaplain in the institution, in the prison, either state prison or federal prison, you are chaplain for everyone. So you have to be responsible for their religious program, religious diets, education program, and so on and so forth. So we serve the so image population generally. So, but when it comes to major services, like a Muslim, I lead the Muslim prayer, like Juma, or on Ramadan like this, we do Tarawih and so on and so forth. So for the other faiths, Jewish faith, I just had to monitor them and provide them with all their religious needs, including Native American Indians. So that's what we do. We provide.
Ẹ ṣeun, Imam, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wa sọ Yorùbá, inú mi ó dùn. Ẹ lè máa fèbò sí náà lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan kó lè bá
I was
àwọn èèyàn.
told that in this our lecture today we have invited so many people from different communities. Ghanaians are listening to us, and also that's why mo fi ń sọ English. Màá fi Yorùbá náà sí, but so generally, I mean, nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ pé for those people who are joining us, yàtọ̀ sáwọn Yorùbá tí wọ́n jẹ́ àbí Haúsá ni tàbí Ìgbò ni o, àbí Ghanaian ni o, Dahomey ni o.
Èmi náà kọ́pì yín, màá yá òyìnbó díẹ̀.
Okay.
Once again, I'm taking this opportunity to thank everybody who have logged in. This is Yoruba Gbode. I'm Shola Yusuf, the host. I've been a presenter, producer with Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State for a period of 21 years before I moved to the United States. Yoruba Gbode is a development from Eku Ileyi program that we were doing couple of years ago. So our topic today is about dream. So because of our people who do not speak Yoruba, Imam has corrected me. Imam is going to give the lecture in English. And then if you want to speak Yoruba to ask your questions, you are welcome. I will do as much translation as I can do so that people we get what we're doing. Imam.
Yes.
So you're on the microphone now. Yeah. Dream. What is dream? What is the dream of Yusuf? We always hear about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salat. So we want you to tell us everything about the dream as it pertains to our life and as it pertains to the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salat. Bismillah. And you have up until 45 minutes to 1 hour for the lecture. After that, our question will flow in, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Adúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run ọba tó ṣe pé ó tún ní kí a wá pàdé ní.
Imam ẹ máa sọ òyìnbó torí ń tẹ́ ẹ ti sọ ó.
Yeah, I'm sorry now. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the opportunity He gave us again today, this year, to meet on this program, Yoruba Gbode. We did last year, and we enjoy ourselves. We learn together. We study together. So our point is just information sharing. So there's nothing new that we are going to tell you than to reminder, information sharing. So last year, we talked about Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and we talk about the dream that he has. So which he narrated to his father, in which his father know. So what is the result of that dream? Then warn him not to tell his brothers, he has 11 brothers. One of them, Binyami, is so from his own mom. Other 10 are not, but the father know that they are going to be jealous of him. So he wanted him to tell them. But what happened, and it happened that whether he told them or not, he did not tell them because the warning from his dad is that do not tell them. So anyway, fire kid do like a kid then. So the reason is that he's saying that because they are going to make a plan against you. Once they know about the dream, they are going to make a ploy against you. And that's what's really happened. They made the ploy against him, and then as a result, they took him from their dad, so and sold him to the people, the caravan coming from Egypt. So those caravan took him to Egypt and sold him to one of the minister of the king of Egypt, in which you all know what happened, that he was there and the wife of his master tried to seduce him. And so, Master Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him for that. But still, so because he was caught. So he was caught with the wife. The master called them and the wife out of the trick. So make him to go to jail because he did not respond to her request. Youth was in jail for a while, as you all remember. We mentioned that last year. And he was in jail and 2 other inmates approached him that they have a dream. Joseph so interpreted the dream for them and the dream became true. So I'm just going to give the summary of what we did last year. I'm not going to concentrate on that too much because we have generally we are going to talk today about the dream in particular. So this follow, he was in prison, and as a result, another dream came which the king of Egypt had, and there is no one to interpret the dream. So the man whom Joseph interpreted the dream for before, so which happened to be the one who is providing wine for the king, now realized. And that's how he went back to the prison because no one can interpret the dream that the king had. As a result, so Joseph interpreted the dream, and the king was so impressed, of course. Before he left the prison, he told them that he had to the king that he had to summon those ladies to know exactly what happened between him and them. Now, the wife of the minister came out now saying that Yusuf was innocent and that she was the one who tried to seduce him. So, but Joseph refused. Anyway, so Joseph came out and he was put in charge of Minister of Natural Resources and control the agriculture and so all other things pertaining to storing the food and so on and so forth. That is the gist of what we talked about last year concerning the dream of Yusuf. So this year, for the next 40 minutes that they gave me, we are going to mention that. So the dream is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a sign of revelation, inspiration, that God Almighty, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sent to his prophets. And starting from Prophet Abraham alayhi salatu wassalam, I say, as an inspiration, that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Joseph, to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, to sacrifice his son, Ismail. And because it is an inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the dream that the prophets of God have is an inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ibrahim saw the dream the first time, the second time, and then he had to call upon his son, Ismail, and call him, say, Inni ara fi manami ani asibauka. Falamma balaga ma'ahu shaya qala ya bunayya inni ara fil manami ani asba'u. Fansur ma satara qala ya abati fa'al ma tumar satajidun insha'Allah min as-sabirin. So Ibrahim told his son Ismail that he saw in the dream that he is sacrificing him. And because Prophet Ibrahim and his son know that this is an inspiration that is defined through dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he did not question his dad. He said, Dad, why are you going to do that? He said, Ya abat if'ali ma tumar satajuni insha'Allah min as-sabirin. My dad, go and do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded you to do, and you will find me among the patient one. So, as a result, Ibrahim prepared him to sacrifice him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called upon him that you, Ibrahim, you have already fulfilled the dream or the vision. In this way, we reward the righteous. So what I'm trying to say is that the dream in Islam is of three categories. Defined dream, which is true dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that when you have this dream, it is true, it came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's the first category. True dream, that is inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like also we have from Ibrahim, also Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Quran, Holy Quran, لَقَدْ صَدَقَ اللَّهُ رَسُولَهُ رُؤْيَا بِالْحَقِّ لَا تَدْخُلُونَ مَشْرَعَ إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ آمِنِينَ مُحَلِّقِينَ رُؤُوسَكُمْ وَمُقَصِّرِينَ لَا تَخَافُونَ فَعَلِمَ وَلَمْ تَعْلَمُوا فَجَعَلَ مِن دُونِ ذَلِكَ فَتْحًا قَرِيبًا. Indeed, Allah will fulfill the messenger's dream of entering the sacred mosque of Mecca. If Allah will, you will enter in full security with your head shaved or your hair trimmed without any fear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew what you did not know. He granted beside this a victory in the near future. So this category, the first category of dream is a dream which is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's what happened. The prophets, you all know that as a result of this dream, conquered Mecca, in which it destroyed the idols that the Quraysh were worshiping, 363 idols. And from that on, the whole Mecca became Muslim. So that's category of dream. So the second category of dream, as far as Islamic is concerned, is the one which is known as a false dream. We come from the devil. So how do we have the dream anyway? Islamically speaking, the ulama said that when we sleep, our soul partially or temporarily leave our body. Because sleep is a minor form of death. When the body is present, but the soul is elsewhere. Some people underestimate the significance of dream by completely discarding them, while others make too much of them and make every decision in their life based on a dream. But the Holy Quran and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, highlight that some dreams have symbol and meaning. So the dream, like the one we mentioned, is a true dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a false dream which comes from devil. The devil, as we all know, can present something to some people in their dream as something which is real. This kind of dream is a scary dream. The ulama said this kind of dream is a dream which is usually a nightmare, which originates from the devil. The Prophet Muhammad, upon giving instruction about dealing with this type of dream, one man came to the Prophet Muhammad one day, and he said, "Prophet, I have a dream." And what's the dream? He said, "I had a dream that my head had been cut off and that I was chasing it." The Prophet, peace upon him, laughed and said, "When Shaitan plays with one of you in your dream, do not mention it to people." And this second category of dream is a false dream because it came from Shaitan. And Shaitan play with our mind. The Prophet made the peace and blessing of Allah and be upon him. And so that when you have a false dream, scary dream, like a nightmare, do not tell anyone, but pray. If you are sleeping, you are still on your bed, he said, spit without saliva to your left hand 3 times. Pray, Awusubillah, 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 and this dream, the Prophet said, do not tell anyone about it. Because if you tell anyone, then it will become so true. That's the second category. The third category is the dream which is meaningless. Meaningless dream can be the first dream which other frightening, like I said, as a matter. Meaningless dreams are usually just materialistic or carry no spiritual dealing accompanied with them. Islam teaches that this kind of dream, it can be something that comes from oneself. Maybe because you attend a party yesterday and you have a fun and you are trying to do this and do that, or something happened a night before you go to bed. Then this kind of thing will come to you in the dream, which may not make any sense about anything that may be happening to you. So the Prophet, ﷺ, when you have that kind of dream, just disregard it, because it's not something coming from the revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has no support from revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that kind of dream, I'm going to emphasize more about that kind of dream. But the Prophet called that kind of dream as hulum, that's a bad dream that comes from the shaitan. When you have that kind of dream, the Prophet ﷺ disregard it and do not even tell anyone about it. So Allah will protect you from him. Now, dream about lightning to give you some insight about what the kind of dream that the Prophet ﷺ explained to the companion. He said, number one, if you dream about lightning, a fire, and seeing others being led by its light, that suggests that the individual who light the fire will eventually become a source of illumination for others, fear, knowledge, and wisdom. Then worshiping the fire in a dream also connotes a desire to serve a ruler or monarchy, as well as the possibility of hearing or going astray. If the fire that is being worshipped is not in the dream, then it's clear that the person is looking for illegal sexual gain. So, this kind of dream, the Prophet ﷺ explained that, so the fire, worshiping it, is that a sign of you may be going astray or trying to do something which is bad. When you have a dream that you saw the ocean or sea represent a huge rim and a strong dynasty, as long as there is no evidence of mud, sleet, or a minor wave. In a dream, if the person sees himself swallowing the entire sea, and only the king can see him, it foresays that he will rule and have a long life. If one sees the dream that is drinking from it to satiate their thirst, this means that he is going to have wealth, power, and long life. If he feels that they have a punch of fire in his dream, it may be a fortune. Allah will give him a generous and present wealth for him. Islamic dream also means that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to do something for you and you are praying about it, then you can see that coming as a form of true dream. Like in a dream that you have a snow and fire that are next to each other, stand in for love, passion, and connection. Snow, when you have the snow in the dream, and that this can apply to those of us in North Africa, in North America or Canada or any other part of the world that have the snow. So it can represent money or medical breakthrough. The Prophet ﷺ also explained to us, and the ulama explained that, so when you have this kind of dream, it's better to have people of knowledge to interpret it. And what you are going to consider, so before approaching the people, it is affordable to afford mention a dream for interpretation to anyone other than a scholar or a person you trust to be truthful and sincere. Like Joseph did when he narrated the dream to his father. Also, anyone who sees the prophet in a dream has undoubtedly had a true dream as it is not possible for Shaitan to imitate the shape of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If anyone sees the same dream multiple times, or multiple people see some dream, then it is a sign that it is a true dream coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If somebody saw a dream which is very short, very precise, it means a person has a longing dream that seems endless. So short dream means that this thing is real. But if you saw a dream which have no end, you are just dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and at the end of the day, it does not go anywhere. This kind of dream is from Shaitan, and that you should disregard it. The Prophet Muhammad also prohibited anyone from adding something to or subtracting anything from a dream while relating it for interpretation. Doing this can spoil or corrupt dream and is considered a great sin. So what you are talking about here is that some dream, people come to you, if you have a dream, do not exaggerate. Just tell the one who is going to interpret it the way you saw it, that is happened. So I want to tell you about the dream of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and how important the dream is. So the Prophet wasallam, according to ulama, is a man of honor, man of glory. If you see the Prophet in the dream, surely you have seen him as he or he is in this life, because Satan cannot imitate the Prophet wasallam. To see the Prophet Muhammad wasallam is a blessing from greatest blessing, for as the ulama said, to see him equally is like seeing him when he was alive. If one sees Prophet Muhammad wasallam coming toward him in a dream, it means blessing and benefit. If one sees him smiling in a dream, it means that one is truly emulating his tradition. Seeing Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in a dream means someone suffering from distress and is praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take out the distress from him. So this means that, so seeing the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in the dream means that Allah will erase the difficulty from him. It means that he will remove it. If one is living at a time of economic chaos, and if high prices oppressing the people of the land, or if injustice is rampant, everyone then seeing the Prophet because they are praying to him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they come the Prophet. They saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and he pleaded that, yes, solution will come to you. See him this beautiful, radiant, and impeccable appearance, as best described by his companion, means that glad tidings or attaining a successful conclusion to one's life, in his life, and in the hereafter. See the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu in the dream is a gift to Muslims in their life. If you see the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu told someone in a dream, then if the one see the dream qualify for leadership, and if he's righteous and a just man who command good and forbid evil, and if he's learned and practice what he knows, and if he is a pious worshiper and devoted Muslim, he will attain the station and company of the Blessed One. So what we are talking about is that, so when Muslims are praying in time of difficulties, in terms that they are looking for something which is good. So from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeing the Prophet Muhammad mean victory over one's enemy, or consulting or praying one's death, or recovering from illness, or attending a pilgrimage to God's house in Mecca, or triumphing over one's trials. So all this is being recorded in the book of the dream. Our Prophet Muhammad also tells us that among the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala communicates to human beings is that, so when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does something for individual, he will show it to him in the dream. Like you are looking for marriage, for example. The Prophet Muhammad Aisha told us that the Prophet told her that two times that the angel showed the picture of Aisha to him in the dream, that the angel presented Aisha so to him in the dream twice. And let me read that hadith. And the apostle said to me, this is the report from Aisha, you were shown to me twice in my dream before I married you. I saw an angel carrying you in a sleeky piece of cloth, and I said to him, uncover her. And behold, it was you when the angel uncovered so that individual. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. Then you are shown to me again, the angel carrying you in a sleeky piece of cloth, and I said to him, uncover her. And behold, it was you. I said to myself, if this is from Allah, then it must happen. And it happened. That when the Prophet Muhammad so proposed to Aisha through her dad, and that is Abu Bakr Siddiq. Abu Bakr in those days believed that, well, he is a very good friend of Prophet Muhammad والسلام, and so they are brothers in Islam. So he said that, how are you going to propose to my daughter? We have brothers. He said, yes. So that is Islamic brotherhood. And that does not prevent me from marrying your daughter. But the emphasis here is that before that, the angel had presented Aisha two times to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you want me to remind you also that we read in the hadith of Khadija, the first wife of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that so Khadija, as you all know, that she was previously married two times. Her husband, the first husband, passed away, and she has children for him, two children, we've said. Then she remarried, and when she remarried, so she has two children also for the individual, and that individual passed away. Then everyone else, king, traders, well-to-do people, all in Mecca, around Mecca, Medina, Taif, were proposing to her. But she had a dream. She had a dream that she saw the sun entering her room. And when that happened, she went to one of his uncle who know the interpretation of the dream. And that one said that, oh, the one who is going to be your next husband will be a noble person, probably a man of God, or somebody close to God, or a saint. The one did not know exactly what will happen. And that's why when all these people are coming to propose to Khadija, she refused. She was waiting until the Prophet Muhammad happened to work for her and study him and know all the quality, his trustworthiness, his honesty, and so on and so forth. She was the one who proposed to the Prophet Muhammad, as you all know. But it came through the dream. So we are talking is that, so not only the prophet of Allah having good dream, other people, among the people, even they may not be Muslim, they may not be Christian, also Allah sent message to them through the dream. So also what happened to Prophet Muhammad again is the migration, to migrate from Mecca to Medina. He saw the dream. The Prophet said, narrative for Abu Musa, the Prophet said, I saw in a dream that I was migrating from Mecca to a land where there were date palm. I thought that it might be the land of Yamama. Yamama, part of Yemen. But behold, it turned out to be Yesrib. Yesrib is the name which given to the city of Medina. Before my Prophet Muhammad came, it's known as Yesrib. I saw cows being slaughtered there, but the reward given by Allah is better than worldly benefit. Behold, those cows proved to symbolize the believers who were killed on the day of the Battle of Uhud. You know, the Battle of Uhud, that the Muslims, they lost the battle. Many Muslims were killed in the battle. So the Prophet said that the cow I saw resembles the believer who were killed. And the good which I saw in the dream was the good and the reward and the truth which Allah bestowed upon her after the battle. So the Prophet ﷺ also established them come true. Allah sent message to individuals through the dream. And he said, I'm going, there'll be no more prophethood. And that was very, very, very hard for the companions to digest. But he shared Ila and Mubashirat. Good dream will be coming to individual of you. The true dream will come, it will be a sign, it's like a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you have a dream, which is good, so tell people who you trust, because it's a revelation, a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is bad dream on the heart, bad dream, the Prophet said, is coming from Shaitan. That kind of dream, do not tell anyone. Keep it to yourself, but pray that this thing will not come down to me to be bad thing. So by making salat, by spitting to your left 3 times, as we mentioned before. Also, the dream, as important as it is, I want me to tell you that the calling to prayer, azan, that Muslims do when the prayer comes, it's due to the dream. The dream, the Prophet Muhammad sallam have meeting with his companion. That how are we going to announce the time for prayer? When the prayer comes, how are we going to do announcement? So some of them have made suggestions, so many suggestions that, well, probably we should try to go to the mountain and just light the fire. When people see the fire coming on the mountain, they say, oh, it's time for Salah. Okay? So, well, that's not acceptable. So some people say that, you know what? Let us listen the bell like the other people of faith were doing. Ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. So, and that also was put aside. But that night, a companion went home, slept. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him, the angel, come and taught him the kalima of calling the prayer. Am I on the line? Because I see somebody talking. Hello? Now.
I'm going dada, Imam.
Oh, okay. I saw somebody talking on the screen.
Okay. Mama. Okay.
Okay.
Please,
Mr.
if you are going to talk, you have to mute.
Okay.
Otumba, please mute yourself.
So what we are talking about
mute yourself.
Otumba is already muted.
Okay. So thank you very much. So what you are talking about is that this companion, everybody went home, and this companion, Allah referred to him on the dream, in his dream, how to make the prayer. I'm a call to prayer. So like you all know, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Hayya ala salah, Hayya ala salah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. So he came to the prophet second day. Say, prophet, see what? The angel came to me on my dream and taught me how to make the call to prayer, azan. And the prophet said, say what? Let me know. And he said the call to prayer for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, and the prophet said, wow, this is beautiful, but go and teach Bilal. Because for you, you don't have beautiful sound or tone like Bilal. So Bilal was taught how to make the call to prayer. And you know, Bilal is the muhazzin of our Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But that word came from the dream. So that's how you know that. So the dream is very, very important. So Islamic teachings. So, and there are many signs. Also, if we take a look into some of the narrations that we receive for our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, there are many, many things that so dream they had in there. The Prophet ﷺ told us and narrated through the scholars. So other things that the dream surely saw, so have impact about. So what you are talking about is that dream come as a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there's the, so true dream is the one that come to the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so send them as a messenger. But this true dream is not limited to the prophet of Allah alone. It can also be for good leaders, good people, So, like the king of Egypt in those days, we didn't know, they didn't tell us whether he's a Muslim or Christian, but he has a dream. He had a dream. This dream that no one can interpret it. And fortunately, Joseph was there around, and the inmate who was saved in that day, remember him and came to interpret. So this dream, and that dream saved the Egyptian people for famine, that where is going to be time of drought for 7 years, and time of things good gathering for 7 years. And so what you do is that during the time of good crop, you save. And that will be at the time of drought, that will be what you are going to continue to benefit from. So that dream also, interpretation of that dream also give the privilege. So I ran to Prophet Yusuf wasalam, in which he was appointed as one close aide of the king of Egypt, in which he was in charge. And as a result, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connected him with his brothers who are jealous of him, want to take him out, and took him out anyway. And they came to Egypt because they have the drought also to buy food. And when they came, he recognized them. They did not recognize him. He interviewed them, and then we are 11, but only 10 of us here, because our other brother, younger brother, at home, our father will not release him because he loved him very much, together with other brother who is no longer with us anyway because of his misdeed. And Joseph recognized them. He said, okay, you know what? So when these people are going, put in their luggage my cup. And so before, he said that they should not come back to him for food unless they bring their brother they talk about, which is Benjamin. And when they were coming back, they convinced their dad that if we go back to this guy, we don't have food. If we go back to him without Benjamin, you don't release him, the guy already told us not to approach him. So they brought Benjamin, and they came to Egypt. Benjamin happened to talk. Joseph happened to talk to his brother Benjamin. Inni ana akhuka, fala tabtasi bima kan yafa. I am your brother. Everything that these people are doing, do not mind. And when they are going back, so they are in their luggage, he told his people to put his cup in the Benjamin luggage. So when they were going, when they reached the place outside the town, the guy came and then asked him, oh, we are looking for the king cup. Who stole it? They said, you know, we don't come here to do evil. We don't come here to do the evil. We only come here to buy. Say, okay, what is the reward? Punishment. If we happen to find the cup with one of you, well, jazahu ma wujafi fahuwa jazahu. Whoever you find the cup, of the king with, he will be responsible for stealing. Then what they are doing is that they have to go through all their luggage, and they go with the last one to go to is that of Benjamin. The other 10, they went, no call was there. They find it in come of Benjamin and said, wow, this what happened is the one. Said, oh, and the oldest one said, do not do that. Do not take him away. I will be responsible. He said, no, that will not be appropriate for us to do unless we had to arrest the one we found the cup of the king with him. And they were begging and begging, but he will not. Until they left, Joseph had to tell Benjamin that, well, I am your brother. I just want you to stay with me. But you know what? When they came to Joseph and they said that, well, so this is the guy that we found, he said, in Yesrik, he said, well, we are not surprised if he stole. If they were who steal your cup, it's not surprising. His brother also, so it's still something before. And they are talking about Joseph, and Joseph had this Antun Shadru Makana, or Lord Alam Bima Tasna. You people, you are so bad. So you are so mean. And I know better what you are talking about. So what we are talking about is that to summarize it is that dream is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you happen to see a good dream, that is a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tell somebody whom you trust. People you don't trust, do not tell them. Do not disregard good dream, because it's a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as it happened to the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we talk about. But if you see scary dream, disturbing dream, that is what is called hulum, and that one is from Shaitan. We have to be very careful from that kind of dream. The prophet said, if you have it, not to disclose to anyone, but you have to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the evil of it, and then keep it yourself. So the other category of dream is the dream that have no meaning, it's meaningless. It may become because you happen to be somebody who mess around, so have win some kind of imagination, win that something that's not appropriate, or so you are just like a playboy or playgirl. So that you are dreaming something which cannot happen. So that kind of dream come to you, just disregard it. So don't pay attention to that kind of dream. But so the ulama are saying that how do you know the good dream from bad dream? It depends upon the circumstances. It depends upon individual. So if you have a dream and it's accompanied by some kind of seriousness, authenticity, then you know that's for real from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like saying you are looking for a spouse, either you want to get married, whether you are male or female, and then you happen to go to do istihara. Istihara, for example. So istihara is the prayer of choice. And so after that, something happened to you. or somebody was presented to you in the dream. So because of your faith, because of your sincerity, then you know that that actually is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's not from Shaitan. But if we're, for example, you're kind of a guy, so who does not care. It doesn't matter to you anywhere you make your money, or you gamble a lot, or you drink alcohol, and something you have some kind of dream like, oh, you know what? I saw myself in the casino, was so spending money, this and this and this, and it happened that all my money go away, or I win some amount and somebody stole it from me, or something of that nature, or I drink alcohol, I become intoxicated, and I was rescued, or something happened to me, have bad day, or something of that nature. Know that that is coming from yourself. It's neither from Shaitan or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it is according to your whole imagination and your state of mind. What I say is that there are some dreams will come about your state of mind, which is meaningless. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to enrich us, give us good understanding. So we are out doing all this because it is Ramadan. Ramadan is month of holy, month of forgiveness, month of the Quran, month of knowledge. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us and give us good understanding, more understanding of the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us good life, make us to be successful, not only in this life, but also in the hereafter. So I'm going to stop here. If there is any question, so we have, how many minutes we have?
We have barely, let's say about 30 minutes for questioning.
Okay.
Thank you so much, our honorable Imam and scholar. We thank Allah for this opportunity. There are many hands up here, so I'm going to suspend my own. I'm going to hold on my question for other people to be able to ask a question. If you are just coming in, this is Yoruba Gbode. Yoruba Gbode Media is a public enlightenment, and we've been here for a while. We have professionals who enable us to understand what is going on. I'm going to take questions, and probably the first question I'm going to take is from Baba Amoye, our chief wise man on Yoruba Gbode, Professor Adeniran Adeboye. And the reason I'm going to call him first is just to also have an opportunity to introduce him. When I was introducing other Amoye, he was not there then. So this is Baba Amoye. Baba Amoye, please let us see your face if it is possible. Baba Amoye, Professor Adeniran Adeboye is our chief wise man on Yoruba Gbode, and he has been with us and with other Yoruba group from time immemorial. Baba, please, can you open up your can you start your video if it is possible? And I'm trying to unmute you too, Baba. Baba, I'm trying to unmute you, and I'm trying to make sure that we see your face. Okay. But Baba, can you unmute? I accidentally mute myself when I was trying to unmute you. Baba, can you unmute and also open up your video? Okay, well, I think while we figure out what is going on Baba's app, I'm going to call Otumba. Okay, Baba is here. Okay, now unmute, Baba. Okay.
Aha, Esheun.
Yes, sir.
Eshegunkwa, I've been struggling with it.
Yeah, you can use English because I was made to realize that we have many non-Yoruba speakers.
Okay, I will try English.
In 53 years, I will try English.
I want to thank our guests for helping us fulfill one of the primary responsibilities of Yoruba Gbode in terms of Idanileko. As everybody knows, it's hard to find a Yoruba that did not grow up around Christians, Muslims, and all other kinds of, and Isheshe in particular, because that's the way the Yoruba people have been. They welcome all ideologies, if only for examination. So I came out of a Christian home with 50% of my relatives being Muslim, and all of them, however, being Yoruba. I want to ask only purely historical question. When Jesus was around, nobody was calling anybody Christian. Indeed, Jesus was already gone, as you can find in the Acts of Apostles, chapter 11, verse 26, that it was in Antioch. No, Antioch of Syria, not Antioch of Pisidia. It was in Antioch of Syria that people were first called Christians. People who were believers in the message of Jesus Christ were first called Christians in Antioch of Syria. So I want to learn at what point were the followers of Muhammad called Muslim? Was it in the lifetime of Muhammad or was it after?
Okay, that's the question?
Yes, that's the first question.
Oh, that's the first question. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, so you want me to answer that first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good question. Very so nice that you came up with that question. I'm really impressed that somebody like you, a knowledgeable person, devoted Christian, will ask that question. That always be the position of Muslim, that Christianity, as we are calling them, was not the religion of Jesus Christ. In fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Holy Quran that all the prophets were Muslims. It's not that when Prophet Muhammad called that the term Muslim become the title for the adherents of Islamic faith. So we were told in the Quran that even the father of all the prophets, Abraham, was a Muslim. Mm-hmm. He was addressed as a Muslim. Allah said in the Holy Quran, "Ma kana Ibrahim Yahudiya wala Nasiraniya." Ulai kana hanifa muslim wa lam yakun min al-mushrikin. Even Abraham was neither a Christian nor a Jew, not Judaism. There's not even like a Judaism, but he was a Muslim. Abraham was the first one that was named as a Muslim. And Islam believed that all these religions come from the same source. And anyone who submits to the will of Allah is called Muslim. So Abraham submitted himself to God. Moses submitted himself to God. Jesus submitted himself to God. Muhammad came as last prophet and submitted himself to God. So the name Muslim is the name that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to all the Muslims. Allah is the one who named us Muslim in this religion that Islam that Prophet Muhammad brought and before Muhammad came. So from the beginning, that Muslims are known, the follower of Islamic religion were known as Muslim, but that it does not start from there. If it started from Abraham, who happened to be the father of all the prophets. So, oh my God, what happened? We lost the power? Eh?
No.
Oh, okay. So my screen
we can hear you clearly.
Okay, my screen just went blank. So, to answer your question, so Muslim as a name for the follower of Abrahamic religion is from the beginning. It's not a new term. So, like you said, there's nothing like Christianity before, so until after Antioch of Syria named the follower of Jesus Christ Christians. That's how we Muslims also believe it. So all the prophets of God were Muslims, not just only the follower of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the follower of Abraham, down to Muhammad, Moses, Jacob, and so on. So they are all Muslims. Did I answer your question?
It does, but it begs another question.
Okay.
In Antioch of Syria, did the people there at Antioch, did they know that they were already Muslims and that they were just creating a branch of Islam or Muslim, that they call Christianity? If so, is that parallel to what we call Mohammedanism?
Okay. Mohammedanism is a misnomer name. So what happened was the Western people, so because they think of Muhammad like Jesus, that everyone who is following the Jesus, not Christian, then definitely to them, whoever is following the preaching of Muhammad is Mohammedanism. There's nothing like Mohammedanism. Muhammad himself is a Muslim, like Jesus, Muslim, Moses, Muslim, Abraham, Muslim. So there's nothing like Mohammedanism in our book. When you call Mohammedanism, this means that we are worshiping Muhammad. Muslims don't worship Muhammad. They are worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created Muhammad and who sent the messengers from Adam, or let's say from Noah to Abraham, and so on and so forth, down to Muhammad. and other prophets. So there's nothing like Mohammedanism.
So then my last question along that line is as follows. Given that you are making us understand that everybody who practices any Abrahamic religion,
yes,
is a Muslim.
Yes.
The bifurcation that came perhaps with Christianity, so that you are separating Christianity from Judaism, and okay, and another bifurcation happening with Muhammad. How much of that can help us understand the wars of attrition that have been taking place ever since, the war of religion, I mean, all of those things among people who are supposed to be what? Broadly speaking, from you, Muslim, people of the same origin as far as faith is concerned. What is it about the faith that they have in common that is responsible for so much disaster, such as is happening now in Gaza?
Well, the issue of Gaza is not issue of religion. It's just the issue of land. So happened that the Jewish people are occupied from the Palestinian people. So it's not an issue of religion. It just happened that Palestinian people were Muslim, and then you have Israelite people to be Judaism. So, and
well, you say Muslims and Judaism, we are separating them. They're all Abrahamic.
Yes, they are all Abrahamic, but so the Jewish people will now accept Muslim as a Abrahamic religion. Like they don't accept Christianity or Christian as an Abrahamic religion. They just say they follow the law of Moses. And when we know that the law of Moses or the preaching of Jesus Christ is just a continuation of what Moses brought. He does not come to destroy the law, but in order to implement it or to whatever adjustment, amendment you can do to it. The same thing is a continuation. So Muslims believe that all those prophets were sent by the same Allah, God Almighty. The God of Moses is also the God of Jesus and that of Muhammad and Abraham before that time. So we're supposed to be together. And that's why the Quran warned the Muslim that وَلَا تُجَدِلْ حَالَ الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي حَسَنَ. Do not argue with the people of the book except with what is right. So to correct, remind them that we are one. So the source of our faith is one, because God Almighty is one, and He is the one who sent all the prophets. So it should be a continuation. So not a division.
Okay. So in that case, unfortunately, I have to ask one more question.
Okay.
The source of the faith is one.
Yes.
But so is the source of the biology, according to the books. In other words, the father, Abraham, was as much the father of Isaac as he was the father of Ishmael.
Yes.
And given that, if only from the patrilineal line, Jews and when you go to Isaac, then you go to Jacob. You find that whoever they call Israelis today are descendants of Jacob. of which Joseph, in fact, was one of them. The separation then of people into Arabs and Jews is a separation based upon some kind of nationalism and land contest and what have you. That has been tolerated for years. Is that parallel in any way, absent religious extremism? Is that parallel to what is happening now in Nigeria, where we are almost always able to identify religious extremism in the competition between nations? People would like to call them ethnicities, but they are really nations. Is that parallel? Are we confused, or are we confusing land grabbing with competition according to faith? In other words, is land grabbing, is faith being used as a tool, a bad tool for that matter, for an agenda that is really land grabbing?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, so Nigeria, division of Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. So, and it's the whole problem is based on tribalism. Yeah, nepotism. So, and that's what leads to the religion does not have anything to do with that. So yeah, you want to understand that why the Igbo people want to go and create the state of Biafra, why the Yoruba people now are agitating for Yoruba nation, and why the Hausa people or Fulani so want to, want to stick together in order to face the South as where you are not so with us. So what you want to know is that, and this is that's what happened. When you, for me personally as a Muslim, do you know that the Hausas were pretty reluctant to put me in leadership in the Muslim community or to lead their prayer? Because even if they know I'm Yoruba, I am a Muslim, I am qualified to lead them in prayer, you know that they will not accept. They will prefer somebody who is even less knowledgeable among them to lead. So that's what I'm saying. The whole issue is that it's the issue of tribalism. So it does not have anything to do with religion. Like I mentioned before, the issue of Palestine and Jewish states is not issue of religion. They don't care. So whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, so they don't care. What they care about is that so domination of the land and continue to, and we know how the Jewish state treats the Christian. So in that land, if it's just an issue of, well, okay, our faith is close to your faith, there'll be no problem with a Jewish guy, with Christian guy. But it's not the issue. The issue is, yes, the land belongs to us. And this land, even if you say that, so Muslim or Palestinian people should have this, Gaza or West Bank or this, we still want to take it either by force. It's not an issue. They don't care. It's not an issue of being Muslim or Christians. That's not the issue. And the same thing is what is happening in Nigeria. So it's not an issue of Christian in the South or in the West, in the East or West. It's issue of land. So the same way an outside guy will treat you as a Christian, the same way they are going to treat me, because both of us are Yoruba.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm a little on the confused side.
Yes.
In 1804, Othman Dan Fodio, not a Hausa, but a Fulani,
Yes.
emphasize that, insisted that, well, his own brand of Islam was the purpose of what I would call military evangelism, not only in the north among the Hausas, but eventually coming down all the way to Ilorin, what we call Kwara State today, and coming to the rest of Yoruba land until Yoruba resistance at Oshogbo ended that kind of expansionism. On October 12, 1960, 11 days after Nigeria's independence, the Sadana of Sokoto came out and reiterated the aspirations and dictums of Othman Dan Fodio more than a century earlier, that the objective is to conquer all of Nigeria, that it was given to them by God and all of that stuff, and that they will spread Islam, and that's their version of it. Islam came to Yoruba land before Othman Dan Fodio got there, but their version of it. So that the confusion or the admixture of what might be a spread of Islam in which you are told, here is the Quran, here is the sword. Pick which one you want. To me, that was the confusion. That's what allowed people to say that Islam is violent. Because the version that came to them late was a kind of military or militant.
Okay.
In order for our people in Yoruba land to have a peace of mind about what religion they practice, isn't it important to kind of decouple the militarism from the faith? The militarism in land grabbing from the faith that ends up looking like military evangelism.
Well, like I mentioned before, the era of Uthman Dan Fodio, you're talking of 1804 or something of that nature. So the Nigeria of today has changed. So it has been politicized. So the Northerners who are now maybe like seeking for power and want to remain in power, is not because of spreading any religion, either Christianity or Islam, or it's because of power grasping. So they don't want to leave the power. It does not matter to them. So even if a northerner who happened to be a Christian was in power, or be a Muslim or of any other faith, what happened today is just to be Hausa or Fulani. The rest is secondary. The issue of and that is the politics of the politicians, either APC or MPN, saying, okay, when we have president from the north, we have vice president from north who is a Muslim. We should have vice president from the south who is a Christian. So just like politics, it does not have anything to do with religion at all. So, so what I'm trying to say is that the Islamic faith of Ottoman Darfur has died down. So now it just us striving for power as individual. It's a tribalism which happen now. So that's why I'm sorry to say again, the nation of Islam, not nation of the Yoruba nation. What are we saying? We Yoruba want to be in charge. It does not matter whether Muslim or Christian, George, Yoruba nation, and the Igbos on their own too. Whatever they are fighting for is not because of religion. Period. And the same thing is the Northerners. Is to be in power. That's it.
Okay. I want to thank you very much for the clarification that you have brought into this. So as I get along talking to my Yoruba compatriots and to my Nigerian co-citizens for the time being, we have to make sure that we are not confusing, and you have helped us clarify that, we are not confusing the ethnic nationalism, national agenda with religion, because religion, for better or for worse, has been used as a tool to implement what is otherwise an ethnic agenda.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate your being here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Olotu, we don't have any question on our topic for today.
Imam, we have more questions.
We have
more questions. Shem Gomi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so we have more questions. As our tradition, I'm going to go back to that today. We always call our Amoye first. Sometimes I don't do that. But today, I'm going to use that word. Bababi Yefule, then after Bababi Yefule will be Engineer Baba Logbomoso. Then after that, I will call other people. Esheun. Baba Yefule, thank you.
I'm here. Eshegon. Emma Shiongo, thank you very much, Imam.
Speak English.
Thank you.
Yes, want to go in Keshe, so now I will speak English. Eshegon, we thank you very much for being here today. We really appreciate it. And it's a very difficult task that you embarked on, explaining dream and what have you. And as you know very well, each culture has their own peculiar interpretation of dreams. In Yoruba land, there's an interpretation of dream based on the on Ifa belief. And of course, the Christians, especially the Catholics, also have their own dream interpretation. And ditto the Buddhists, ditto the Hinduists, who believe in their own form of dream interpretation. And each and every one of those interpretations are usually culturally based. So what was practiced, the belief in Saudi Arabia during the time of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, will be what will have been incorporated into the Quran that everybody reads today. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's done all over the world. And we also have to understand, going beyond what I just said, that Islam is basically an Arabic culture. I think we said that last year sometime. It's basically an Arabic culture and is a way of life of the Larubawas. That's what we call them, the Arabs. Islam is their way of life. And if we see, we can see that in all aspects of the Quran, in all aspects of the Muslim life, in the dressing of the Muslims, those who use veil, those who wear white clothes, it denotes that this thing originated from the desert area. I would say that there's a saying in Yoruba, tí a bá ń kọ ebè, a máa kọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ara wa ni. In English, when you're using a hoe, a farming implement to make a ridge for your yam, the hoe is usually directed towards you, so more of the earth will be, most of the earth will be where the farmer is. That's, if you can just imagine that. So I would say that the Islamic culture and which we said is Arabic culture, will focus on the Arabs. I hate to say this, the Arabs are one of the most virulently racist people on the surface of this earth. Some have said they are even far more virulent than the southern whites, whom everybody used to think were the worst of them all. The Arabs engaged in slavery, they engaged in male castration of Africans castration of male. And so with all those things, that's their culture. We have to understand that is their culture. That's what they believe in. And so their culture may be difficult for other people to imbibe, to accept. So when one says that, and I'm shifting to one of the things you said, sir, Mr. Imam, that everybody in the Abrahamic religion could be considered a Muslim or a practitioner of Islam. That may be true because the Arab said so. They want the good thing in the Abrahamic religion to be theirs, to belong to them. I'm sure the Jews will not agree that they are Muslims. And definitely the Christians who predate Muhammad, peace be upon him, will not ever call themselves Islam either. And so that puts us in a very difficult situation. This is what learned Islamic people tell us. Some people really, who are not Muslims, do not believe it. So why don't you go down the historical route and actually see what history tells us, what written down history, not then say, not word of mouth. We all know that in year 610, Muhammad, peace be upon him, saw angel Jibril. And this occurred in Saudi Arabia during the rule of Qayyim. We know that as a fact. Now, we know that in year 622 AD, there was a Hijrah. And we also know that in 632 AD, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was called to hereafter. We know that. But one thing we also know is that at that 632 AD, there was no Quran yet. There was no Quran yet. But we do know that by 750 AD, which was approximately 120 years after Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. A man by the name of Ibn Ishaq came up with the Quran. He said he compiled everything that the prophet left, and the first printing of it was done somewhere around 750 AD. And that printing of that holy book prompted the Arabs to go on the expedition, conquering all Arabia, coming to the Middle East, coming into, going into North Africa through the Sinai, all over North Africa, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Morocco, as far down as Mauritania. And within 100 years, all those conquering took place. So we have to look at that historical thing. And unless we fully understand that history, we are going to say things that people may be able to argue about. And I don't want to go on and on because you're our guest and you've done a very, very good job to enlighten us. I will just leave it at that. That there's a historical perspective to Islam, and there is an Arabic, Islamic, cultural aspects of that same religion. Thank you very much, Imam.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. Well, there are many things which are not properly accurate as far as your calculation is concerned. Yes, Prophet Muhammad happened to be an Arab, definitely. The Arabic culture probably influenced him. But what you have to know was that he, among all other prophets, was the only one sent to the whole universe. You following me?
I hear you.
Yeah, most believe that the message of Holy Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We did not send you, Muhammad, except as a mercy to the whole world. Moses was sent only to Israelites. Likewise, Isa, Jesus, was sent. All other prophets that came, numerous of them, they are specifically sent to their own nation.
Mm-hmm.
So it is only Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, happened to be the last prophet to be sent to the whole of universe. Yes, because he's a Muslim, I mean, he's an Arab, so Arab culture and tradition influence his message, but he always said that there's no priority for an Arab over a non-Arab, or for a white person over a white person, or for a black person over a white person in this message, except the belief, the taqwa, fear of God Almighty. And Muslims said any tradition which is not in compliance with the teaching of Holy Quran is null and void. The Islam tradition and the Quran message was that this message is for the whole universe. Any tradition, in every tradition, there is something good. You cannot condemn the whole of Yoruba tradition. We cannot condemn the whole of Igbo tradition, or American tradition, or European tradition. Any tradition which is in compliance with message of Quran. That is Islam tradition. It may come from Abrahamic religion, either from Moses, either from Jesus, either from Jacob, either from Joseph. So since we say the message of all these prophets is one, the thing is that it's directly to individual place at their own particular time. But Islam believes that the message of the Quran was for all of universe, and it was not correct that the Quran does not exist during the time of Prophet Muhammad. The Quran does exist, but what you don't know is that most of these Arab people were illiterate. They cannot read, they cannot write. So, but God gave them the power to memorize. So, in those days, many of the follower companions of the Prophet Muhammad memorized the Quran. They don't have to, because they are illiterate, they don't have to write it down. So, but some of them who know how to read and write, the Prophet told them to write it down. The Prophet have a PA, a personal secretary, personal assistant, whose name is known as Zaid bin Sabit. Zaid bin Sabit is the personal secretary of Prophet Muhammad. He is from Medina. He write down all the revelation. There are some other companions of him who write down the Quran. So, but what happened was, after the death of Prophet Muhammad sallam, many of these Quran memorizers who memorized, so they lost their life at the battle. So by that, the second caliph, who happened to be Umar bin Khattab, so the one you are talking about Ibn Ishaq, writes Ibn Ishaq, so writes the history of the Prophet, the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad is the story of the Prophet, not the Quran at all. So the Quran was compiled during the time of not Umar, during the time of Uthman bin Affan, the third caliph of Islam. He was one who noted that people are reading the Quran with their different dialects in Saudi Arabia. Yani, the Syrian people who wrote down the Quran, among them, wrote with the dialect of Syria. Even the personal secretary to the Prophet Muhammad, Said Rubono Sabit, also when he wrote down the Quran, his dialect of people of Medina, because he was from Medina, also assists in the writing that he put down. And that's what Usman bin Affan, the third caliph, said, oh, it's not good that people read the Quran with different dialects. So, because Quran is for the whole of universe, so we have to put all this copy that A have this copy, B have this copy, C have this copy, that have this copy. So they put them together, and Usman bin Affan told them to write the Quran down with the diet of the Quraysh. The diet of Quraysh, because Muhammad is from Quraysh family in Mecca. So it's not appropriate that Allah will reveal Quran to him in another dialect which is not the dialect of Quraysh. So Usman bin Affan told them that they have to write down the copy of Holy Quran that Ahab, behalf, whenever they find that, so this one have written down something in the diet of, so, which is different to that of Quraysh, so they change it to diet of Quraysh, because the diet of Quraysh is the diet of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, and that is different. So what time was that? Because Abu Bakr was in the caliphate for only 2 years. Umar was, so after 2 years, Usman bin Affan, who became the caliph, so took over maybe like after 6 years that Prophet Muhammad died, and he was in the, in that position for only about 8 years. And it was around that 8 years that the whole of Quran was put together as we have it today. That was, if you see that kind is the Quran of today is known as Ottomanic edition. Ottomanic edition means the compilation of the Quran which Uthman bin Affan compiled. So that is way back. That is way back. So maybe like 10 years after the death of the Prophet, that is what put together as a book. Before that time, everyone, they have that Quran. Not everybody, not that it's one copy, but like you may have maybe chapter 2, 3, I may have this chapter 9 or 10, and BSC may have the chapter 11 and 12. That's what happened during the time of Prophet. But all the Quran exists because it was revealed on the Prophet Muhammad. So nothing was lost. So the compilation that Uthman bin Affan did was that they make it to be one. And that is just about 10 years after the death of Prophet. And that's what you have today. So for even Hisham that you are saying, you get confused between Quran and the story of the Prophet, the biology, what do you call it? Biography, I want to say, of the Prophet. That's what Ibn Islam, right? The story of the life of the Prophet. That's what he did. Not the Quran at all. The Quran was compiled together into a book form during the time of Uthman bin Affan. That's like about 10 years after the death of Prophet. So the Quran exists during the time of Prophet, but it does not be in a book form like we have it today. It became a book form during the time of Uthman bin Affan. You ask any Muslim scholar, that's what they will tell you. That the Quran as we have it today was Ottomanic edition, so which was put together during the time of Uthman bin Affan, the third Caliph of Islam. So did I answer your question?
Very well. Thank you, Chief Imam.
Okay, Olotu, I have 5 more minutes to go because we are having to go to Masjid for tafsir. We have to be there by 4:30. So if any other question, if not.
Olotu, ṣé wà ńbẹ̀?
Okay, mi ò rò pé wọ́n ṣe nǹkan mi. Alàgbà Bánkọ́lé, ó dà ń pẹ́ yín ló kàn.
Yeah, thank you very much, our dear lecturer. I'm really enjoying the lecture. And I find the similarities in the dream you described, Joseph's dream you described with I find so much similarity between your description and what we learn in the Bible, which means that if we look at it, these two religions are sharing from the same cup, so to speak. But I'm not going to go into which one comes first, the egg or the chicken. That's not my question. My question today is this. In Nigeria, it's Ramadan time, and we find out that the Hizbab police are arresting some Muslims for not fasting. Is it compulsory that every Muslim must fast? Isn't it supposed to be voluntary? That's number one. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm listening.
My second question is this. They are also arresting some Christian friends for giving food to Muslims. I mean, I mean, I don't know why they would do that. And my last question is this. Is it acceptable for, I know that Muslims don't drink, and they don't encourage people drink, they don't sell drinks, they don't give people to drink. But must they benefit from resources derived from the sale of alcohol and betting? I know you mentioned casino being something that should be avoided by Muslims, but should they be benefiting from the resources gained from betting and casinos and alcohol?
No.
Those are my questions, please.
No is the answer for that question, because the Prophet said that Allah did not put the cure of my nation in something that he prohibited them from doing. If selling alcohol, drinking of it is prohibited, like gambling, then Islam will not allow it. It's haram, which means prohibited. So as far as arresting people for not fasting, there's no justification for that. Islam, even if they happen to be Muslim, and they are not fasting. Fasting, according to Islamic tradition, is between you and your God. So if people are not fasting, that is between them and their God. Because people may even say they are fasting, and in the public, they don't eat, they don't drink. But what of it? They go home. They eat and drink. Who will know? Only God knows. That's why God said that it's for me. Fasting is for me. I'm only one who is going to reward it. So for people to be going and arrest people because they suspect them of not fasting or see them not fasting, that is out of Islam. That is out of Islam. That will not be justified. I don't know of any government, either in the Middle East or any other place, that will go and arrest people because they are not fasting. So giving food from Christians, you know what? As long as the food is not what is prohibited, so like giving them a pork to eat or making some kind of a pork product, so that will not be acceptable, because the Quran stated very clearly that the food of the people of the book is lawful for you, Muslim, as your own food also is lawful for them. Otherwise, I mean, I cannot go to the market now. Forget about Christian giving to Muslim. I cannot go to the market now to buy food. I'm be asking for, who is the farmer who produced this food? Was it Muslim or Christian? No, that does not make sense. So the food of the people of the book is lawful to Muslim, like Muslim food also is lawful for the Christians. So why should that be a problem? That should not be a problem at all as far as Islamic faith is concerned. If Quran is saying that what I just mentioned is the higher, yani, so of only Quran, ta'amukum hillu lahum wa ta'amukum hillu lahum. The food of the people of book is lawful for you, Muslim, as your own food also is lawful for Christians and Jewish also, Jewish faith. So I don't know where that is coming from, but that is not Islamic. Islam, so Islamic law did not ask anyone to go arrest anyone because they are not fasting. Also, the Islamic law did not prohibit anyone from eating the food produced by the people of the book.
So can you hear me?
Me?
Boyo.
Going.
Ocho. I mean, I'm going here.
It's not clear.
Okay.
Any echo? There's echo behind you. A lot of echo.
I think
Yeah, we can hear you in and out, just fading in and out.
You are using two devices. You have to stop one.
Yeah, I have 5 more minutes for you because I have to go to Mercy for tafsir.
You are the last question.
Okay.
Embreko. Go to Embrek.
On a major note, okay. A quick one. Since most of the questions I want to ask about dream has been dealt with by the two professors somehow, I want to do a little bit political, and I'm going to be very, very short. Just a yes or no answer. That is, as we speak, back home where we all come from, Nigeria. The biggest problem the government of the country is facing is security, and the people who are attacking. Hello. Yeah, the people who are attacking the governance of Nigeria are the combination of the ISIS, Boko Haram, and some other Muslim-linked organizations. The question to you, sir: if you are to be president of Nigeria and you have this problem in your hand, what will you do to solve the problem of the Islamic or the Muslim or the people that are connected to the terrorism or the breaking up of security?
Well, Islam, as you know, is a religion of peace and harmony. So that's where the name comes from. It comes from peace, salam. It's your peace. So whatever be the case, if you are in charge, so whatever you can do within your power to bring peace, security, to be your priority, first thing to do. So as a Muslim, the issue of security and peace is very, very, important in Islam. Even the Arab, during the time of Prophet Muhammad sallam, when he came, he found a lot of opposition from Jewish people in Medina, in Mecca. In time of the Jewish people and Christian people of those days, you could collaborate with the Quraysh, who happen to be idol worshippers, and who happen to be the tribe of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what the prophet is that to make peace, treaty between them. So between the Christian people and Jewish people. So they were the one who broke the contract that they have before them, between them, and that led to him expelling them from Arab country, Jazeera to Arabia. But it does not start with that. Once he became the head of state in Medina, so what he did is that make treaty with them, establish treaty and with a sign to live together in peace and harmony. But because they also, they were should be in charge, they don't cooperate with him. They broke the treaty, so they broke the contract, and at the end of the day, the prophet had to expel them from Medina. So what happened now, when you are talking of ICC or Boko Haram, they are not for Islamic. Everything they are doing is un-Islamic. These people are killing Muslims too. To be frank with you, Muslims are the large number that they are killing. So whether in Iraq, whether in Syria, so that's what happened. So that's what happened. They just are not Muslims. They just use Islamic faith to cover up their own agenda. They are political. So if you know very well, you don't believe that this is not the teaching of Muhammad, this is not the teaching of Islam. They are judging it down themselves just for justification for their own desire, for their own goals. So ICC, Book of Islam, they are not fighting for Muslims, and they are not fighting for Islam, just for their own agenda.
Thank you.
Say about that. Like I said, we are running out of time. I have 2 more minutes.
Yes. I'm going to let you go. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that has participated. My gratitude goes to NCNMO, from the Ashura board to the executive, and everybody that has contributed to this, especially our lecturer. I usually take up this opportunity to pray and thank the Isabatuddin women, because if it is not because of their effort and activities, you may not have the opportunity to hear me. They fought for women education in Ibadan. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless them. From Alaja and my own mother, who was a prominent member, Alaja Humani Adekunbi Yusuf, may Allah continue to bless their memory. Imam, I'm very grateful. I think what we will do is, after the Ramadan, we will invite you so that we can enjoy, we can benefit more from this education that we received today. We still have many questions. So I'm very grateful. Jazakallah Ayman, Robbie Sidney Ilima. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh. Ẹ náà ṣé o, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ládàá o. Ọlọ́run bá yóò san alẹ́ san rí o. Ọlọ́run yóò gbà fún wa o.
Àmín.
A ṣe jìnnà. Lọ́la la hawla wala quwwata
illa billah.
Ẹ ṣé. Wassalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. So please, for people who didn't have opportunity to ask their questions today, we have learned from the opportunity, even though it was little. I'm still echoing. We are continuing with Yoruba Bode. I have to tell you that we are not going to be able to do the law aspect. Ní ṣe àkíyèsí èdè àìyedè, ọ̀tọ̀ ni tí a sọ, ọ̀tọ̀ ni tí a gbọ́. Ọ̀kan nínú àwọn amòfin wọn lè wá. Ṣùgbọ́n ní agbára Ọlọ́run, ní ọjọ́ míì, ní ìwọ̀nba àsìkò tí ó kù, ó kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin Ìbàdàn onílé Olúyọ̀lé, àwọn ọmọ Ìbàdàn pọ̀. Bàbá amòye wa ọmọ Ìbàdàn ni wọ́n.
Okay.
Àbí iṣẹ́ fẹ́ jiyàn.
Kí ni ìyàtọ̀ láàrin gbọ̀ngàn àti Ìbàdàn?
Yàtọ̀ fún yẹn, gbogbo pálí wọn Ìbàdàn ló fún wọn.
Ìkan náà làwọn méjèèjì àti gbọ̀ngàn àti Ìbàdàn.
College Ìbàdàn ni.
Gbọ̀ngàn ló ní Ìbàdàn tó edó Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́.
Ìbàdàn ló wà Ìbàdàn ni. Ó kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ Ìbàdàn, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Ìbàdàn, Alhaji Abbas Musari, Ẹkúndèlé àti gbogbo ọmọ Ìbàdàn tí mo rí, Alhaja Akínpẹ̀lú, ẹkú ara fẹ́ra kú Olúbàdàn. Àwa kì í nìbàdàn bẹ́nìkan tí ń sunkún lẹ́nìkan yọ̀. Ó ní wọ́n ṣe máa kì wá ní ọmọ agbọ́ ti kú yọ̀. Bá a bá ti gbọ́ pé Olúbàdàn kan kú, yàtọ̀ fún pé wọ́n lùlù pé ó dàgbà ni wọ́n mọ̀ yọ̀ wípé ìdílé tiwa lóye tún kàn. Torí ẹ̀ ni a kì í ṣe é jà nìbàdàn lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọba, ọ̀rọ̀ Olúbàdàn dìjà. Mo ò ní lè sọ tí ní ìsìn, torí lábẹ́ àṣà Ìbàdàn, ó di ọjọ́ 21 t'Olúbàdàn bá kú kí wọ́n tó kéde ẹni tó yè kàn. Àwọn tí wọ́n ń kéde ẹni tó yè kàn, wọ́n ń sọ tara wọn ni. Wọn ò tẹ̀lé àṣà Ìbàdàn. Ọmọ agbọ́ ti kú yọ̀ ní wá, ṣùgbọ́n àìkéde Olúbàdàn tuntun àfìgbà tó bá pé ọjọ́ 21. Síbẹ̀síbẹ̀, àwọn tí wọ́n wọlé, mo bá wọn yọ̀. Àwọn tí wọ́n sì gbẹ̀yìn arúgbó wọn, mo bá wọn yọ̀. Olúbàdàn, dókítà, kábíyèsí, Mọ́gàjí Àlí Ìwó, ọba Moshood Ọlálékan Balógun Olúbàdàn tó wájà. Ọba ikú, ọba ń wájà ni. Mo àjẹ́ kí Ọlọ́run ó tẹ́ wọn sí afẹ́fẹ́ rere. Àwọn ni Olúbàdàn 42 tí wọ́n jẹ nìbàdàn. So mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Ìbàdàn, IDU ti New York, IDU ti Washington DC, IDU ní òkè òkun ní UK. Mo kí gbogbo wọn. Ẹ dákun, mo fẹ́ sọ kankan tí mo fẹ́ gbàgbé. Àwọn ẹnìkan ń tẹ̀ sí mi pé àwọn fẹ́ rìkọ́ọ̀dù Yorùbá Gbòde kí n fún wọn ní permission. Mi ò lè fún wọn ní permission torí pé àìṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n a ti wà lórí YouTube, gbogbo ń tá a ṣe ló wà recorded lórí YouTube. Ẹ lọ sí Yorùbá Gbòde YouTube. Tẹ́ ẹ bá débẹ̀ tẹ́ wá ṣàkíyèsí dáadáa torí Yorùbá Gbòde ti pọ̀ ní ìsìn. Àwa ni wọ́n rí tí wọ́n ń dáṣà Yorùbá Gbòde. A ṣàtúnṣe èyí láìpẹ́. Ẹnìkan ló pè mí, ó ní Yorùbá Gbòde mọ̀ pọ̀ lórí kiri, mo ní Àlàní òfófó ọ̀lẹ́ràn. Nígbà tó bá yá, á béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn amòfin wa ń tá a lè ṣe kí wọ́n má bàa kẹran mérò, kí wọ́n má bàa kó ilé ẹran pọ̀ mẹ́wàá èrè. níbi tí àwọn ọlọ́pọlọ pípé bíi bàbá Adébóyè bẹ bàbá Bíyì Oyèfúnẹ̀ bàbá Bánkọ́lé Ọ̀túnba Òsèénì àtàwọn èèyàn wa bámbámbámbámbám níbi tí wọ́n wà bàmẹ́kò náà wọ́n pé bíi kàìsí nǹkan káwọn kan tún wá láwọn ń ṣe Yorùbá gbòde ẹ̀rí tí wọ́n fẹ́ ká kẹ́ran mérò ńgbà tó bá yá amòfin wọ́n sọ nǹkan tí a ṣe lórí ẹ̀. tó Olúbàdàn ti rèwàlẹ̀ àṣà wọ́n ti ọba wàjà lẹ́yìn ọdún méjì àti bí ọjọ́ mélòó kan bàbá dàgbà náà ọ̀mọ̀wé sì ni wọ́n joyè ọ̀mọ̀wé láti ìdílé àlí Ìwó ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n ti wá àwọn ní balógun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ètò Ìbàdàn balógun náà ni ó tún kàn. tó àdúrà mi ni pé Ọlọ́run ó bá wa tò ilẹ̀ Ìbàdàn. Máa fún àwọn èèyàn láyè ẹni tó bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ibi tá a parí ẹ̀ sínú ṣùgbọ́n ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ a ṣe oṣù Àbíyí ẹ dákun ẹ mọ́ gbàgbé aago 2 bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní àwẹ̀ aago 2 la máa ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ nínú àwẹ̀ ká lè bá tètè lọ sínú torí ẹ̀yin ẹ wo bàbá Adébóyè àwẹ̀ ó ti máa gbòmọ́ tá a bá pẹ́ jù bó ṣe yẹ. a mọ̀ pé bọ̀dá Bíyì àjọsán làwọn bí wọ́n ti máa jẹ́ ìjọba wà lórí fúlàní àmọ́ akọrin àjọsán ṣe gbààwẹ̀ òun tán àwẹ̀ tán. so aago 2 ni a bẹ̀rẹ̀ níjọ́ mẹ́jọ. ṣé ẹ rí gbogbo ìbéèrè tẹ́ ní ó wọlé dáadáa ẹ tún mú wá níjọ́ mẹ́jọ. àfàgbà ìmáàmù Yahya Nafiu láti New York àwọn ni wọn ó bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa kádàrá. ṣé ẹ rí pé ó papọ̀ mọ́ Yorùbá. èmi a máa sọ pé akéwú mọ́ ní tírà ní Yorùbá gbogbo ẹ̀ láti wá dùn ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. èmi ò mọ̀ bóyá àwọn Fúlàní ló fẹ́ gba ohùn mi o ṣùgbọ́n lọ́wọ́ gbà fún wọn. ẹ ṣeun. tó Olúbàdàn ti wàjà ẹni tó bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ Ọ̀túnba.
ẹ ṣe mo kàn fẹ́ fi kún ìkéde tẹ́ ṣe ni nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àwọn tó ń mọ history especially when it comes to urban business wọ́n pọ̀ gan tó ń tẹ̀ ti gboyè rẹpẹtẹ. but one of the best thing about ọbaṣip ní Ọ̀yọ́ state one of the most standardized because it's based on level ẹni láti wà ní level kan so owó tó bá kú tínú àwọn kan dùn yẹn ó dàbí pé ó ti come to stay it is right because wọ́n ti mọ̀ already pé olúlanlẹ́yìn or whatever ni ó kàn so that he pé 21 days after yẹn is also 100% correct but you see the what other people ordinary people will be looking at ni wípé the structure is already there it's usually kò wà controversial rárá so people will just say pé they already know that olúlẹ́yìn àbí olúwalẹ́yìn àbí nǹkan kan ló máa bọ́ síbẹ̀ so yẹn mo kàn fẹ́ fi pín pé your information is correct but àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń ka newspaper tó ń ka posting tó wà lórí internet tó wà lórí pé wọ́n ti mọ ẹni tó wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn you cannot blame them because they just follow the lay down the rules the guidelines the structure tí ó máa fi jẹ́ kí the next Olúbàdàn máa fi emerge so ẹ̀yin gbogbo ọmọ Ìbàdàn mo kí yín o ẹ pẹ̀lẹ́ ẹ kú lédè o ọjọ́ àjìnà síra wọn.
àmì o ẹ ṣeun. tó ta ló tún fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀.
èmi fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ o.
bàbá dé níran àwọn ìlànà Ìbàdàn tó ìdílé ìgbọ̀ngàn.
ẹ ṣeun olóòtú mo kàn fẹ́ kí Ọ̀túnba Òsèénì lẹ́yìn Number one, Ìbàdàn. Òun ló jẹ́ kí nǹkan tí wọ́n ń pè ní democracy kó tún gbilẹ̀ sí. Emperor l'Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí nǹkan ti ṣẹlẹ̀ l'Ọ́yọ́, tí Ìbàdàn ti gbégbá orókè, ó ní wọ́n ti pín ẹni tí ó jọba n'Íbàdàn tó kálukú ti fẹ́ mọ̀ pé ẹni tó kàn rèé. Ìyẹn ṣàǹfààní fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pé kì í ṣe dandan ni kí gbogbo ò rí bíi tàtijọ́. You change with the times, and Ibadan has done that very, very well. Number two, lójú tèmi, ní ìgbà tí wọ́n gbé Western Nigerian Broadcasting Service wá sí Kiniwa in the 50s, wọ́n máa ń lùlù kan tí wọ́n sọ pé dandan. This is Nigerian Broadcasting Service ni wọ́n ń try láti lù nílù. But àwa tí àmọ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń lù oríṣiríṣi nǹkan la fún un. Ọjọ́ gẹ̀dẹ̀ dúdú inú ń tafà. But another version tá a máa ń sọ nígbà yẹn ni pé t'Olúbàdàn bá kú ta ni ó joyè. So kí ló dé tó ń béèrè Ìbàdàn? Wọ́n ò béèrè rẹ̀ ní Ọ̀yọ́, wọ́n ò béèrè rẹ̀ ní Gbọ̀ngán, wọ́n ò béèrè rẹ̀ ní Ìwó. Wọ́n ṣe ń béèrè ti Ìbàdàn. Wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé Ìbàdàn ní arrangement téèyàn lè forecast. So báyé ṣe ń yí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ìgbà tí Kóbíowú kú, a mọ ẹni tí ó jẹ. Ìgbà tí Akínyẹlé kú, a mọ ẹni tí ó jẹ, and so on and so forth. So we have to live with the fact pé perturbations á ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí àṣà wa. Perturbation kéèyàn mọ̀ yẹn is a matter of pretense. Pé respect. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fún ọba tó wàjà ní ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́ta ká fi dárò rẹ̀ ká tó sọ pé lòmíì lọ́kàn. But ẹni tó kàn ti mọ̀, and that's the good thing about the governance system. Kò yẹ ká gbé sọnù.
Ẹ ṣeun o bàbá. Bàbá Bánkọ́lé, mo kí ẹ̀yin náà kú délé. Màá sọ díẹ̀ fún yín nígbà tí mo bá ń kí Olúbàdàn. Ẹ mọ̀ kọ́ yẹ kẹ́yin náà náwó. Ọya ẹ̀sùn lẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀ olóòtú. Inú mi dùn gidigidi fún ètò yìí. Mo kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú gbogbo ọmọ Ìbàdàn. Mo dẹ̀ kẹ́dùn pẹ̀lú àwa Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ náà torí ohun tó bá bójú tó bá imú. Gbogbo alámọ̀ pé bàbá tó wàjà pé lóòótọ́ Olúbàdàn ni wọ́n, ṣùgbọ́n ẹsẹ̀ kan lé ẹsẹ̀ kan òde ni wọ́n ní ìlú Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́. Gbogbo alámọ̀ history Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ àti Ìbàdàn relate mọ́ra wọn. So mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Ìbàdàn pé ẹ kú ẹ̀yìn bàbá o. Mo dẹ̀ kí àwa náà pé a kú ìrọ́jú o. Ọdún jìnnà síra wọn. Inú mi dẹ̀ dùn wípé ètò ọ̀rọ̀ oyè ní ìlú Ìbàdàn kì í ṣe pé kò sí gbọ́n mi sí omi ò tó ń bẹ̀. A ti tó kalẹ̀, ẹni tó kàn ti mọ̀ ipa òun ló kàn, kò dàbí ìlú mi tó pé àjàdórógbó ni gbogbo ẹ̀. Inú mi dùn pé ètò wọn ti wálẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé olóòtú, ẹ kú ètò, ẹ kú ẹ̀yìn wọn.
Ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ ṣeun. A dúpẹ́ pé oyè Ìbàdàn rí bó ṣe rí. Torí tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Ìbàdàn kò ní rọ̀ níbikíbi. Ká má gbàgbé ayé wáíwáí. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ètò Ìbàdàn ó di tí wọ́n ń jà sí kò ní mọ ní kékeré. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ pé mo jà sí oyè Ìbàdàn. Mo wá kí gbogbo ẹbí ọba Moshood, kábíyèsí lọ́nà ọmọ arójú owó, ọmọ arójú omi, ọmọ òkè tí ń lú igbó àtàbàrí, ọmọ agbóruru olóbi, àtàbàrí òní kọjá, lógun òní kọjá sàdúràlá, ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ni máa dẹ́gbẹ̀rún ọkọ̀ kíkẹ́tà ìkẹ́ máa dẹ́gbẹ̀dínlógún tọ́mọ arólú sí ló gba lọ́kọ. Àgbò dúdú láti bọ àṣàbàrí, ewúrẹ́ dúdú láti bọ lógun nìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé. Bàbá wa ọmọ ìjọba ọmọ ìṣọ́ olùgbòmọ̀ṣọ́ ọmọ jógí oró ọmọ ìjẹun ṣá. Kábíyèsí ọmọ Kìtì Ẹ̀fọ̀n tata tí ò lè kí. Ọmọ abẹ̀bẹ̀ abẹ́. Ọmọ Ṣọ̀ún l'Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́, jógí oró akẹjẹun sọ. Ọmọ ọ̀gbẹ́ l'Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá délé ẹ bá wa kí o, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dọ́nà kẹ́ ẹ bèrè ọ̀nà, kẹ́ ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo àwọn Olúbàdàn tó ti lọ. Ọ̀run rè o, Olúbàdàn Òkun Adékejì, kábíyèsí. Bàbá Bánkọ́lé, ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ sanwó ní?
Mo ń gbọ́ yín o, mo ń gbọ́ yín o.
Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé ẹ sanwó ní ìsìn? Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ ní orílẹ̀ bàbá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni.
Àdúpẹ́ àwa lẹ́nu.
Aláwàlá ní gbogbo ẹ̀, àwàlá ní gbogbo ẹ̀.
Èyí náà.
Ẹgbẹ̀gẹ́ ló ní gbogbo yín.
So, ìyókù di ọjọ́ méje. Bàbá Adébóyè.
Ó wà mí.
Ṣé màmá ti gbọ́ èjì ká tí wọ́n lè gbà rẹ̀?
Mi ò gbọ́ yín o.
Mo ní ṣé màmá ti gbà rẹ̀?
Ọlọ́run ló mọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lónìí.
Ẹjọ́ kì í ṣojú lásán. Tó ẹ jẹ́ kí a máa dágbére fúnra wa. Ṣé ẹ gbọ́ yùn?
Mo gbọ́ yẹn.
Ṣé gbogbo èèyàn gbọ́ yùn? Ẹ rí àwọn kan wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ gbọ́.
Gbogbo alágbọ́.
Ìyẹn ò difficult láti gbọ́.
Aago méjì lápàdé ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. Ká lè bá tètè lọ sínú. Aago bíi méje ni a ṣínú ní agbègbè kan. Àwọn tí wọ́n wà ní UK àwọn ti ṣínú tiwọn. Ọ̀túnba sí lára wọn torí ẹnìkan lè mọ́ jọ̀sán bóyá wọ́n parọ́ mọ́ yín ni.
Wọ́n ń gbẹ̀ṣẹ̀.
Ẹni wọ́n ń gbẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ọ̀dà. So mo dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn fún ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ yín lórí ètò Yorùbá Gbòde. Adúpẹ́ oníyan sí ọlọ́bẹ̀ tí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ jẹ́ náà ẹ kú àìbínú. A pàdé ní ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. Ìpètúlélé gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ máa ń ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Àìsí ń bẹ̀ láì dá sí i. Ọ̀dà owó ò ní dá yín o láṣẹ Olúwa. Ẹ ràn Yorùbá Gbòde lọ́wọ́. Bákan náà ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́ṣe ń pè yín pé gbogbo ìmọ̀ràn yín ẹ fi ránṣẹ́ sí ipasẹ̀ olóòtú Yorùbá Gbòde kí àwọn ó lè bá tún mọ gbogbo nǹkan tí ẹ bá fẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣe. Wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ láì fọ̀tápè kí Ọlọ́run bá kó jẹ́ kí ó rọ gbogbo wa lọ́rùn. Ó di ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. Ẹni tó fúnni lówó kò fẹ́ kí ebi ó pani. Ẹni tó fúnni nímọ̀ kò fẹ́ kárìn lóòkùn àìnímọ̀. Ẹni tó fúnni lọ́mọ kò fẹ́ kí àjàdé irun bí iṣu. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yèyé mi o. Egbinọlá Adékúnbi àtúnwá ẹ̀dùn ló kọ́ mi láṣà àmọ̀dèrè àṣà. Èrè ní mògùn ará àlágbẹ̀dẹ. Ibi tó o bá wà
ilẹ̀ rẹ ni o.
Ó di ọjọ́ mẹ́jọ. Ó di kọ̀ bí èbó fẹnu ọkọ̀ sọlẹ̀. Ire o.
Ó dàárọ̀ ó dà.
Ẹ̀yin tẹ̀sẹ̀tẹ̀ ń wọlé náà. Ẹni tó bá nǹkan ẹbómi ìṣọwọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa ti ń lọ, a ti ń kọrin ọjọ́ òní lọ́tàn.
Ooru sún mọ́lé.
Òkùnkùn sì dé tán.
Ilẹ̀ sì ti ṣú.
Ẹja fi nọ́mbà nítorí àwẹ̀ tí ń bẹ ń ta. Ire o.
Eré kábìtì.
Bàbá Adébóyè. Ó dàbí choir master ní ọjọ́ sí.
Eré kábìtì.
Choir master ní. Church bí nǹkan mi.
Choir master ní ládẹjọ́ sí.
Ẹ fẹ́ kí n tó kọ̀ tàbí bàbá.
Ó yẹ kí prof wá fún wa ní lecture nípa Catholic Church pẹ̀lú Anglican Church now.
Ó ń bọ̀ àkàn wọn ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀sìn la máa ṣe.
Exactly. Professor Adébóyè ló máa bá wa ṣe sí Christianity.
Ọ̀túnba.
Èyí bá rántí bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ọ̀túnba.
Bàbá sà, mo ń gbọ́ sà.
Question tẹ́ bèrè yẹn ò ṣe answer.
Kí ni dé?
Mo mọ̀ bèrè náà ni sà.
Question yẹn ò ṣe answer. Ó tóbi ju ẹni tó máa answer ẹ̀. Mi ò mẹ́ni tó lè answer ẹ̀ o.
Kí ni question o?
Wọ́n ní ẹ tún béèrè.
1 second. 1 second, please.
Àìlèjà ní òdélé yìí.
Ọ̀rọ̀ dọ̀rọ̀ àárín ara wa.
Ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà ṣé àánú ẹ ṣe ẹ pẹ̀lú wa.
Ọ̀túnba ń béèrè wípé tó bá jẹ́ wípé wọ́n ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ lecturer wa wípé tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn ni head of state pẹ̀lú gbogbo wàhálà tó wà Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú Boko Haram, ISIS, Hadass gbogbo ẹ̀ báwo náà ṣe fẹ́ solve ẹ̀ nígbà wọn rí i pé Muslim ni gbogbo wọn. Àbí ń tẹ́ ẹ bèrè kọ́ yẹn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ẹ wò torí pé jẹ́ yìí bó bá ṣe lòmí ìgbà pé dáǹkan ni bọ̀ torí pé jẹ́ yìí ni sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Wọ́n ti bá mi sọ.
Ṣé mọ̀ pé Ọ̀túnba tó béèrè ọ̀rọ̀ náà Muslim làwọn náà kò jẹ́ kó bàjá.
Orí náà máa kọ́ ti wa.
Ok, ó dàbọ̀.
Ó dàbọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀.
Ó dìgbà kan náà.
Ọ̀túnba prof.